Hey everybody, this is the Esoteric Cross. I make videos about how to gain your personal power while learning ancient secrets, and if that sounds like something that you're into, please hit the like button and subscribe and gain insight from this perspective in the cosmos. I wanted to make this video to help address some confusion about angels and their associations, and working with them. There are so many reasons to work with angels, but to get into that, one must understand what an angel is. An angel is an energetic construct. It is an intelligence that governs the reality of the universe. The simplest way that I can put it is that there are different aspects of self and of God's self. If any of you have heard of the internal family system model, then this may be a bit easier to understand. This model describes how we all have different internal parts of ourselves. These different parts help out our main self in many ways. We may have a manager, an inner child, and we may have a saboteur. These different parts are designed to help the main self survive, or even some parts help the main self thrive. This is just an example of how consciousness is broken down into parts. Now, we are made in the image of the universe. The universe, or God, is the one consciousness that exists. Each person is the universe enveloped in a human body. This suggests that there is no real difference and no real separation between us and God. The term archangel means that this is a higher angelic force. Arch is also a part of the word architect. Archangels are very important and very large parts of this consciousness of God. These angels are very powerful constructs that are designed to govern reality and to take order from this oneness of God and likewise from the oneness of man. When you work with angels and magic, you are working with that aspect of God, but remember you are also working with that aspect within your own self. People tell me all the time that they are afraid to start their journey in magic, and that they're afraid to invoke angels because they don't know if they are invoking something dark. Some people even tell me that they're afraid of angels altogether. While I get stepping into an unknown territory can be intimidating, it is worth it to note that working with angels and performing magic isn't really as fantastical as you may have thought. You are performing energy work, remembering these associations to invoke the right angel for the right reason, and performing rituals. Once doing these rituals have become a habit for me, it became nothing more than just brushing my teeth in the morning, keeping up my spiritual hygiene, and making sure I am set up for the day. For anyone worrying that you may be invoking something dark, don't worry. You probably wouldn't be able to invoke something dark even if you tried. It would take a skilled and powerful magician who has been on this path for a very long time to know how to do this. If you follow the things that I teach in my videos, everything you're doing is designed to purify your own consciousness and help remind you of your connection to divinity so that you can gain power in your life. Now, with all of that out the way, let's address the associations of these angels. These associations can get a little confusing. And this is because the same names are used for different associations. To explain this, I'll need to explain a little bit more about the different levels of these parts of self. We have the elemental layer of consciousness. Then we have the planetary layer of consciousness, and this can also be represented by the Tree of Life and Kabbalah. Then we have the zodiacal layer of consciousness, and in this layer, you start with the 12 zodiac signs. Each one has an angel, but then these 12 signs are divided into 36 parts. These are the deacons of the zodiac. Each one is an angel and represents 10 degrees on the zodiac wheel. And then this is further divided into 72 angels of the Shem Aparash. Each of these 72 angels represents 5 degrees on the wheel of the zodiac. This is how consciousness is broken down when you work with these parts in magic. The main goal of magic is to separate and purify each part, strengthen them, and then integrate them. This fuses together the broken parts of self, the fragments. Once this is completed in a person, humanity is lifted a bit more, and this keeps happening until every person is lifted to higher states of consciousness. Now, magic is not the only path into doing this. Most religions have this information encoded within them, and if the follower of said religion understands how the stuff really works, which most don't, then they would be able to blend spirituality, psychology, and philosophy to purify and integrate the parts of self and merge back with God consciousness. Also, as you can see with the internal family system model and many other models and forms within psychology, that the mental health field has a small grasp on this idea as well. But most of the time, psychology leaves spirituality and energy work completely out of the equation. Just know that magic isn't the only way to getting there, and there are other ways. But here on this channel, we talk mostly about the systems within magic, and you can do with that information what you will. So the first way that consciousness is broken down is into 4 parts, and these 4 parts are the elements. In magic, when performing the lesser ritual of the pentagram, we call in these 4 archangels around us. They are Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, and Ariel. Raphael is the archangel of the element of air in the season spring. We envision this angel wearing yellow robes. Michael is the archangel of the element of fire in the season summer. We envision this angel wearing red robes. Gabriel is the archangel of the element of water in the season autumn. We envision this angel wearing blue robes. Ariel is the archangel of the element of earth in the season winter. We envision this angel wearing green robes. Now, if you look up these angels and the seasons they are associated with, some of them might be a little mixed up compared to what I just told you. The reason that we use these associations in magic is because when we perform the ritual of the pentagram, we are acting as if we are moving through each of the seasons. We start with spring in the east with Raphael, and then move to summer in the south with Michael, and then moving on to autumn in the west with Gabriel, and then finally with winter in the north with Ariel, and then completing the circle. What we are doing is moving through the 4 aspects of this terrestrial consciousness. Now, here's where the associations may get a little bit confusing when it comes to magic. As I was stating before, some of these forces will have the same name, but it all depends on your intention and the association you are using that will determine the force that you're invoking. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the associations for the energies of the Kabbalistic tree of life. Malkuth is the bottom sphere on the tree and is representing the 3D physical reality. This is also ruling the 4 elements, and this sphere can represent terrestrial consciousness. The angel associated with Malkuth is Sandalphon, who is wearing earthy colors. You could envision this as brown or dark green robes. The next sphere on the tree is Yesod, and this sphere is associated with the moon. This is the astral layer of reality, and can also represent the subconscious mind and emotions. The archangel associated here is Gabriel. In this case, Gabriel will be wearing purple robes to symbolize that you are invoking the archangel of Yesod. This differentiates the energy from that of the element of water, which would be a lower, more terrestrial and personal type of energy. The next sphere on the tree is Hod, which represents intellect, communication, and will be associated with the planet Mercury. The angel invoked for this sphere is the archangel Michael, and he will be wearing orange robes to symbolize the sphere of Hod. When you invoke Michael wearing orange, this differentiates this type of energy from that of Michael, archangel of the element fire. The next sphere is Netzach, which is associated with Venus. This is the sphere of art, music, love, and joy. The archangel associated here is Hanael, which would be wearing green robes to symbolize Netzach. Moving on to the sphere of Tiferet, which is located at the heart on the body. This is associated with the sun and symbolizes beauty, willpower, healing, and this is an important part of the link between divinity and the material reality. The archangel invoked for the sphere is Raphael. He would be wearing golden robes to symbolize Tiferet. The difference between the element of air Raphael and the sphere of Tiferet Raphael will be dependent upon the ritual that you are performing as well as your intention. The next sphere is Gebra, which is associated with Mars. This is the sphere of power, strength, energy, and protection. The archangel for this is Chamael, and he would be wearing red robes. Across from Gebra is Chesed, which is the sphere associated with Jupiter. This is all about expansion, abundance, gaining, and growth. It is associated with the archangel Zadkiel, and he would be wearing blue robes to symbolize Chesed. Moving on to the sphere Binah, which is the sphere associated with Saturn. This sphere represents understanding, but also can be used for binding, gaining knowledge, and discipline. The archangel associated with the sphere is Zadkiel, who will be wearing black robes. The next sphere on the tree will be Chokmah, and this is not associated with a planet. It is associated with the Zodiac. And each sign of the Zodiac has its own angel association, but the angel associated with the sphere of Chokmah is Raziel, who will be wearing gray robes. Finally, the top sphere on the tree is Kether, and is also not associated with a planet. Some people associate this with the fixed stars, and some people say it has no associations. Kether is the crown and is directing the flow of the universe's light down the tree into the material reality. The archangel associated with this is Metatron, and he wears white robes. The Kabbalistic tree of life is like a map to divinity. I've stated this before that the goal of magic is to take consciousness, separate it into its parts, purify and strengthen them, and then reintegrate them. You start with the 4 elements, and then the planets, and then the zodiac, and then the fixed stars. The tree of life is the map that shows that path. Malkuth is where we are within our terrestrial consciousness, working with the 4 elements. This is the first step because working with the 4 elements is working on yourself. Most of the tree after Malkuth is transcending through the planets, and these are the energies that govern reality. Once you have worked through all of these, the next part is the zodiac, separating consciousness into its 12 aspects, purifying and strengthening them. Also, these 12 are further divided into the 36 deacons, and even further divided into the 72 angels of the Shema Parash. After all of this, then it would be time to move on to the fixed stars and beyond, which would be above the layer of Chokmah. I'm not going to go through all of the zodiacal angels here in this video, but what I have given here is a good start to understanding what angels are and how they work within magic, and the associations that you would need to know at this time. One great book to look into for the 72 angels is quite literally titled 72 Angels of Magic by Damon Brand. It is so beneficial to work with these angels because these are forces that can bring about so many positive things that you may be searching for in life. And they do this through changing your consciousness and giving you a great deal of influence over reality. If you are just starting your journey in magic, I have a program that is designed to help guide you through the 4 elements, which is the first step of the journey. Also, if there's something specific that you need guidance on within your magical journey, feel free to set up a session with me. Check out the description below for more information, as well as to where you can book a tarot reading with me. If you want access to exclusive content and live streams, the link to my Patreon is in the description. And I hope there was something new that you were able to take away from this video. If so, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.